Alrighty gang, so today we have a handstand workout. This is fairly low key. I don't think the heart rate's going to get super jacked up in this. However, I've been wrong many times in my life and this might be one of them. Our workout today is going to be 10 rounds of 30 jumping jacks and 30-second handstand hold. Now, depending on how capable you are with handstands, will depend on how this workout is done for you. I'll go through plenty of options for you. We'll spend a good bit of time practicing our handstands, getting comfortable with that movement, and all you're going to need equipment-wise is like a brush shaft if you have one, or a towel would do the job, something that allows you to put tension through your arms and stretch out a little bit. If you've got a wall, great. If you don't, a chair will do the job. That's a table. Or if you want to try this outside, 20 minutes, it's all good. Let's get ourselves warmed up. Alright, our warm up is going to be all about getting our joints ready and our core ready for what's about to happen. So grab your brush shaft or towel or whatever you're using. You're going to lock out those arms and we're going here as wide as you need to. Okay, what we're looking for is locked out arms the whole way around and back again. Now I was able to do that okay, so I would move my hands in a little bit and try that again. I'd repeat that process until I find the position where my hands need to be. Let's do 10 of those. The first 5 is just about moving in and in and in and in and in if you can. The next 5 then are going to be slow and controlled, really stretching out the shoulders. Off we go. This is a movement you struggle with, chances are our shoulders aren't working as well as they could. So really nice thing, or really easy area to pick up some improvement in is work on some shoulder mobility. This is a great exercise for that, especially once we're able to get the full way around. If we add a weight on in the middle so it's under load, take like 5 seconds to go round, 5 seconds to come back. What we're doing is loading our joint, encouraging our muscles to work through their full range of motion, and they'll adapt then quicker to that range. The more weight we can support, the stronger we're going to be. Especially when we come to our snatches and stuff, that movement's essential. I'm pretty sure that was 10ish. What we're going to do is move then to our reverse dislocate. Same idea, hands out as wide as you need to, arms locked out, and bring your arms all the way back. Same idea. Now, a lot of people struggle with this one more. This is shoulder extension. This is generally what limits us in our muscle ups if we're already able to do pull-ups and dips. The shoulder's like a circle, and with all our desk work here, shoulder kind of gets pulled forward. We want to try and free it up so it sits in the center. Long story short, let's do 10 of these. Like I said, I think this is going to be a fairly low-key session today, but we shall see. The CrossFit method is constantly varied, functional movements performed at relative high intensity. Now, relative high intensity means that for any given person, that intensity is going to be relative to them. So it doesn't mean max effort all the time. What it means is demanding in that workout for you. We want it to be demanding enough that we get some change, some neurological change, so with our nervous system, so it's learning to adapt. But also, we need to stimulate the hormonal system, so we get a neuroendocrine response. That's how we see a huge improvement in a relatively short space of time. If we're not working hard enough, we're not going to get that response. If we're working too hard all the time, we're going to drain the adrenal system, the hormonal system, and our nerves just aren't going to be able to recover well enough. So it's really fine balance. That's why we generally do 3 workouts on, 1 off, 3 on, 1 off, or 5 on, 2 off. Now, hopefully those shoulders are feeling a little bit more mobile now. We're going to go and do a little bit of core work. So, on all fours, we're forming a hollow shape. We're bringing one knee in to touch that elbow. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and swap it over. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, hopefully what you notice there is when I bring my foot in, I'm trying to point my toe. So I'm learning to point, engage the foot muscles, the calf, and pull that knee up close to the chest. Don't want it dangling down there. Want it up and close, just like when we do our tuck-ups and all that jazz. What we're going to do is 10, nice and fast, and then hold, 10, nice and fast, hold, and hold. I'll talk you through it. Okay, we've got 10 fast ones coming up. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and swap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 fast ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and swap. 2, 3, 4, 5. What we're looking for is that fatigue to start in those abs. Hopefully really working on that nice hollow shape. Now, we're going to be doing some kicking up for our handstands. Want the back of our legs to be relaxed enough and ready for that. So, going to do something called an inchworm or a caterpillar. Basically standing up, feet close together, legs locked. Bring those hands to the floor, as close to your feet as you can. Walk yourself out, and walk yourself back in again. Walk yourself out. Nice strong plank, hollow shape, and walk yourself back in. This time, as we walk out, we're going to go through a little handstand drill. I'm going to bring one hand up to the shoulder, other hand up to the shoulder, and walk back. See how slow and controlled that was? Thinking about engaging my tummy, squeezing my heels together, one hand to the shoulder, one hand to the shoulder, and walk back in. Let's do one more of those. All the while, legs nice and straight, in as far as you can. One hand to the shoulder, one hand to the shoulder, and walk back in. Little pulse, and stand up. So, hopefully our body's feeling a little bit more limber now. What I usually suggest to people is, if you're not feeling like it, give yourself 10 minutes. Okay, go through the warm-up, go through the joint prep. If you feel like rubbish at that point, leave. Okay, get out, go home, clear your head. But if you're feeling energized, you're feeling good, and you're feeling ready and itching to get stuck in, let's do that now. Okay, so we're going to mess around with our handstand a little bit. For this, we're ideally going to use a wall. We're going to be practicing our kick-ups. Yeah, pretty much. So, quick stretch the wrists before we start. Think about rotating those elbows out to the side, just like we are when we're in a handstand. Elbows point out, the eyes of the elbow point in. From there, going to pulse forward. Going to turn the fingers out to the side and back. We'll pulse back. Turn the fingers in. Pulse in. And then everyone's favourite, back of the hand. And pulse back. locking those elbows out. Nice. All right, before we go any further, golden rule of handstands. Keep your arms locked. If your arms bend, you're going to face plant so hard, it's not even funny. You're going to be in one of those gym fail videos. Keep your arms locked, okay? If you're not competent going upside down, don't try these kick-ups. Skip forward and work on our shape. Kicking up. General idea when we kick up is we want to be as gentle on the floor as possible. I'm going to kick up facing out, and then once we're done with kicking up, then we'll face into the wall and work our shape a little bit. So, first method of kicking up would be single leg. We're going to stand in a lunge, like so. We're going to think about tummy engaged, hands up by the ears, really shrugging into those hands. From there, gentle caress of the floor. Push on up into your handstand and back down again. The goal is to do that as quietly as possible. All right, let's do 3 on one side. Notice how much care we're taking over each of those. We're thinking about keeping that tummy tight, keeping the hand ready. We can see the floor, so we don't need to hit it hard. We can just gently touch it. All right, so that was everyone's good leg. Now we're going to try everyone's bad leg. Let's swap over legs and try it again. I'm pretty sure that was the same leg. I've been doing this quite a while. I'm reasonably competent with both legs, and I have this thing in the back of my head. If I overbalance one side of my body, bad things are going to happen. That comes from when I was rowing. I spent like 3 years learning to row on one side, and then shoulder overdeveloped, and all sorts of fun stuff happened. Alrighty, so those are the standard ways to get into our handstand. Next one we're going to try is a tuck. Okay, so I'll try to show you this from the side. We'll see. We're going to go hands on the floor. We're going to then pull our knees to our chest and kick up from there. Ta-da! Now, against the wall, hopefully that'll be a lot easier. We're here thinking about those elbows, elbow eyes facing each other. We're going to push up, so we're thinking about pushing that bum up, point the toes, and then bring the feet up. I find with those it's a lot easier to engage your tummy. I'll give you a minute just to mess around with those. Now with any of this stuff, if it's so advanced that you're just like staring at the floor, that's alright. Keep practicing the more basic stuff. That's totally cool. It took me a number of years to build up to this. I wouldn't expect you to pick it up like that. Okay? I think one of the biggest things that people learn when they start CrossFit is patience and an understanding that if you consistently work at something over a period of months and years, you will get better at it. Anyone can work hard for a month. It's hard to work for a year, 2 years, 10 years. All right, so we've done our tucks. Next one then would be our straddle. If you've got tight hips, this one's going to be tricky, but general idea. we go up, making as big a shape with those feet as possible. Okay, so it's the same as the tuck. We're still coming up here, and then whip the feet out to the side, and you'll feel the butt cheeks kind of working for that. Let's try 3 of those. Alright, so hopefully we're a little bit more confident now getting upside down. Alright? Facing away from the wall is fairly standard in CrossFit, and that's because of handstand push-ups. But the correct way, well, not necessarily the correct way, but a better way to learn the position of a handstand is facing the wall. And there's a reason for that. If I show you this from the side, I'm going to remove my death stick. If I do a handstand facing away from the wall here, you'll see what position I'm in. I'm kind of in an arch, and there's not much support happening there from my middle. However, if I go the other way around, I'm able to get a much nicer shape. I can set my thighs on the wall. I can pull my tummy in and even set my chin on the wall. If I look through my eyebrows, that's my handstand position. And from there, you can even peel off the wall a little bit. Start to practice that hold, all in that nice stacked position. Ooh. Now, after that little lengthy explanation, we spent time practicing kicking up into a handstand facing out. Learning to kick up in is important. We can always do a wall walk where we kind of start in that plank, keep the tummy engaged, nice big step up, and from there we walk ourselves in and do the same coming out. Always remembering, when you're coming out of a handstand, do that before you need to, because if you need to, you might have lost control of your shoulders and you're probably going to plummet. Now, kicking up, I know of 2 methods. All right, the first is a cartwheel. It's quite quick. You're basically stepping forward. If I'm kicking up with my left leg, I step forward with my right. I place my right hand down first, and from there then kick that left leg up, set my left hand on the floor. Oh yes! And lift that right foot up. And I would come down the same way, like so. Oh my goodness. If we stick that together, nice and quick. You'll have seen coaches do this quite a lot because it's probably the quickest way to get up into position. Okay, so if you've had a go at those cartwheels and they feel comfortable, great. We're going to try this slightly more advanced version. If they didn't feel overly comfortable, take a little rest, maybe try them again, and see if, after a bit of practice, if they've gotten better. Alright, so slightly more advanced version is our pirouette. We would kick up, and turn into the wall. could do the same. Coming out, trying to move your hand first before you bring your feet down. When I'm doing a pirouette, I think about kicking up into my handstand. I move one hand over and then adjust this one, and then move one hand over and adjust this one. Okay? You could do that the other way. You could turn this hand and then move, and this hand and move. Either works. If the wall itself freaks you out with that, you could do that in the middle of the floor or outside, whatever. But let's give that a little blast if you fancy. Okay, so hopefully now we're a little bit more competent kicking up into our handstand. What I suggest you do for the workout is try to face the wall. Okay, we're going to be up for 30 seconds at a time. We might as well use that time to hold a really nice shape. If just holding at the wall is hard enough, let's do that. But if you're reasonably comfortable with that, you could try a couple of things. You could try some flutters, where you go up, a little bit away from the wall. You bring one foot out, so you're basically in a handstand, and you swap them over. So you're trying to flutter and find that balance point. Or if you're mega advanced, you can even do freestanding. Try and get both feet stacked over. If you're just starting out, feel free to go facing out from the wall just to get some strength into those shoulders. That's totally cool. And if that's the case, just try to get a little bit of tension through your tummy. Now that's too scary. What I would do then is set your feet on a table or a chair, and you're basically going to be in this kind of shape. Trying to get those hands under your shoulders, still sticking that bum up nice and high, and bringing the weight into the middle of the hand. Okay? So, we're pairing up some jumping jacks, these bad boys, with our handstands. I suspect shoulders are going to become toast, but we'll see. Quick recap then, we've got 30 jumping jacks. Go through them, reasonable pace. Don't dilly-dally, but don't go really hot, because you've got to breathe when you're upside down and keep those arms locked out. First 3 rounds are probably going to be okay. 4, 5, and 6, really fun. And we'll see what happens from there. All right, I'm going to take this mic off. We're going to get stuck in, stick on some good tunes. I'll see you on the other side. This is JP from the future. Before you start the workout, have a real think about what time you're actually going to do these handstands. Okay, I'm going to do the sets ideally unbroken. I'm going to probably alternate between working position against the wall on one round, and on the next round I'm going to try for a balance or a series of balances for the 30 seconds. Now, like I say, I've been doing these a long time. I'm reasonably competent at them now. You might not be at that level. That's totally cool. Feel free to do these in sets. I'd suggest if you have to do like 3 or more sets, it might be better reducing the time, maybe down to 20 seconds, so you can do it in 2 sets, something like that. Feel free to scale it back so you're taxing the shoulders by resting your feet up on something, but it shouldn't be easy. Okay, it's not a sprinty workout. We're really trying to build endurance through the shoulders, build body awareness, and build a little bit of strength. All right, back to the show. Alright, so that was pretty spicy. Heart rate wasn't overly high, but traps were getting really fatigued, triceps as well, elbows starting to feel a little bit, and wrists as well. So let's try and address some of that with our stretches. If you need to do bonus stuff afterwards, totally cool. Don't feel you have to stop whenever we stop. So first one I'm going to try, we're going to interlock our arms. We're going to go one arm forward, other arm comes below it. I'm going to try and interlock those hands. Maybe grab a thumb, maybe grab the hand, or even go this way around. From there, we're trying to lift the elbows up nice and high and also push them away from your body. So we're going to stretch out the middle of the back, maybe even back of the delts. Depends on where you're tight. Nice wee short one. Keep lifting those elbows up, don't let them sag. And we'll swap it over. Session like that is pretty cool because we get to practice a skill. Most people are strong enough to do a handstand, but there's a skill in learning to hold the position, find your balance, all that kind of stuff. A lot of it is strength, but if you have the strength, it's just learning how to use that. So because we're doing it under fatigue, the idea is that you're not wasting energy. You're trying to use just the muscles that you need to, rather than all of the muscles. So we're fatigued from the jumping jacks, hopefully makes the movement a bit more efficient. Anyway, going to reach an arm across the chest, pull that elbow into your shoulder and pull this other shoulder down, trying to get that nice stretch through our delt. And we'll swap over arms. And we're stretching, perfect opportunity. Once you have that stretch, you just need to sit there. Just to focus in your breath. Try to get that breath as deep into your body as possible. Ideally all through the nose. So you're relaxing the body rather than breathing through the mouth and having yourself in a stressed state. And then we're going to go on our bum, hands behind us, locking out those elbows. And the tighter your shoulders are, the wider apart your hands are going to be. If you can get your hands to touch, sweet. This floor is not very sticky. We're going to lock out those elbows, roll the shoulders back and together. So we're trying to get the shoulder blades here to touch. Once you find your position, just stay there. Try to lift that chest as much as possible. If you're feeling strain here on your elbows, just back it off. Want to feel a stretch maybe through the bicep. Feel a sensation between the shoulder blades. Might even feel a stretch in the chest. Alright gang, let's leave that for today. Thank you very much once again for joining me, and I'll hopefully see you real soon.